Your son has arrived from London, sir. Father. John.
죽음을 앞둔 아버지 헨리 대시우드. 그는 아들 존에게 유언을 남깁니다.
Norland is therefore yours. But your stepmother, my wife and daughter are left only £500 a year. You must help them. I promise, father.
영화 센스 앤 센서빌리티 시작합니다.
Dearest, I mean to give them £3,000. Such a gift will certainly discharge my promise.
존은 아버지의 유언에 따라 새어머니를 도울 생각이었지만 아내 페니는 반쪽짜리 피부치인데 도울 필요가 뭐가 있느냐며 그를 설득합니다.
Always live forever when there is an annuity to be paid them.
£20 now and then will amply discharge my promise. You're quite right.
And what on earth could 4 women want for more than that?
To be reduced to the condition of visitor in my own home.
Consider, Mama, we have nowhere to go.
Do you expect me to be here to welcome them?
대시우드 부인은 유상상속은 물론이고 집을 떠나게 될 처지에 놓이자 서러움이 복받쳐 오릅니다.
I will start making inquiries for a new house at once.
Margaret, are you there? Please come down.
Why are they coming to live at Norland?
Houses go from father to son, dearest, not from father to daughter.
첫째 엘리너도 가슴 아프긴 마찬가지였지만 그녀는 이성적으로 셋째 마거릿에게 이유를 설명했죠. 그리고 그날 밤 존과 페니가 저택에 도착하고 이들은 함께 식사를 합니다.
How is Mrs. Ferrers?
My mother is always in excellent health, thank you.
이어서 페니는 조만간 동생 에드워드가 와서 지낼 거라고 말합니다.
If that is agreeable to you, of course.
This is your home now.
Fanny wishes to know where the key to the silver cabinet is kept. One can only presume she wants to count it.
둘째 메리에는 감정을 숨길 줄 몰랐고
You do your best. You've not said a word to her for a week.
I've said yes and no. Good morning, Fanny. How did you find the silver? Was it all genuine?
엘리너는 급히 화제를 돌려 에드워드가 언제 오는지 묻는데 페니는 더 황당한 말을 하죠.
I wonder if Miss Margaret would be prepared to give up her room for him. I should so much like Edward to see Norland at its best.
얼마 뒤 페니의 동생 에드워드가 도착하고 가족들에게 인사를 하는데
Do sit down.
But where is Miss Margaret?
She's a little shy of strangers at present.
I'm shy of strangers myself. I have nothing like her excuse.
How do you like your view, Mr. Ferrers?
Your stables are very handsome and beautifully kept.
Stables? Edward, your windows overlook the lake.
It led me to one of the family rooms, but rectified the situation.
Tea?
이후 페니가 에드워드에게 대시우드 가족들을 비난합니다.
My dear Fanny, they've just lost their father.
That is no excuse. Library? Never liked the smell of books.
에드워드는 대시우드 집안의 셋째 마거릿임을 눈치채고 페니가 알아채지 못하도록 그녀의 주의를 돌리고 함께 밖으로 나갑니다.
Too expensive. Marianne, we have only £500 a year.
I think I may have found what you were looking for.
Won't you come out, dearest?
마거릿이 계속 숨어있자 에드워드는 방금 전 그녀가 지도책을 숨겼던 것을 기억하고 엘리너에게 나일강의 위치를 묻는데
The source of the Nile is in Abyssinia.
Oh, interesting. How do you do? Edward Ferrers.
이후 에드워드는 마거릿과 친하게 지내고 에드워드의 따뜻한 마음씨를 알게 된 엘리너는 점점 그에게 호감을 갖습니다. 얼마 뒤 에드워드는 메리앤의 피아노 연주를 들으며 슬픔에 잠긴 엘리너를 보고 손수건을 건네며 그녀를 위로합니다.
That was my father's favourite. Thank you so much for your help with Margaret, Mr. Ferrers.
Oh, not at all, not at all. I enjoy her company.
이후 이들은 많은 대화를 나누고 더욱더 친해집니다. 그리고 그 모습을 본 대시우드 부인은 흡족해하죠.
What do you wish for?
I've always preferred the church, but that is not smart enough for my mother. A country living is my ideal. They'll keep chickens, give very short sermons. No voice divine, the storm allayed, no light propitious shone.
어느 날 에드워드는 대시우드 가족들과 함께 시를 낭독합니다.
Can you not feel his despair? Try again.
No voice divine, the storm allayed, no light propitious shone.
얼마 뒤 대시우드 부인의 친척 존 미들턴 경이 이들에게 집을 제공하겠다고 편지를 보내옵니다.
Even Eleanor must approve the rent.
Let us delay. I think Edward and Eleanor have formed an attachment. Why so grave? Do you disapprove her choice?
Can he love her? To love is to burn, to be on fire.
Maybe taking your romantic sensibilities a little far. We're so happy that you chose to invite Edward to Norland.
페니는 자신의 어머니가 에드워드에게 거는 기대가 크고 결혼도 잘하길 바라신다며 에드워드가 엘리너에게는 그저 동정심으로 대하는 거라고 선을 긋습니다.
I understand you perfectly.
그리고 그날 저녁 대시우드 부인은 살집을 구했다며 데본셔의 바튼파크로 이사하겠다고 말합니다.
How charming. A little cottage is always very snug.
You will come and stay with us, Edward.
Edward has long been expected in town by our mother.
얼마 뒤 에드워드는 엘리너에게 할 말이 있다며 조심스럽게 말을 꺼내는데
There is something of great importance about my education. It was conducted, oddly enough, in Plymouth. I was 4 years there in a school run by Mr. Pratt. While I was there,
그런데 에드워드가 말을 하려는 순간 페니가 다가오고 어머니에게서 당장 출발하라는 연락이 왔다며 그를 데리고 나갑니다. 엘리너는 에드워드의 다음 말이 궁금했지만 다음을 기약하며 가족들과 함께 바튼으로 출발합니다.
Edward promised he'd bring the atlas to Barton for me.
Wager he will do so in less than a fortnight.
Dear Edward.
잠시 뒤 바튼에 도착한 이들에게 존 미들턴 경과 그의 장모 제닝스 부인이 찾아오고
You're extraordinary kindness.
No. Was your journey terrible? Oh, you poor soul.
존 미들턴과 제닝스 부인은 대시우드 가족을 진심으로 걱정하고 챙겼는데 이후에도 자신들의 집으로 종종 초대해서 함께 식사도 합니다. 그리고 엘리너에게 어울리는 남자를 소개하려고 하지만 제닝스 부인은 그녀가 마음에 두고 있는 사람이 있다는 걸 알아채죠.
I see you, Miss Marianne.
She's horribly good at winkling. Or if we do not keep them long.
Give us a clue, Miss Dashwood.
He has no profession.
So he's a gentleman then?
You know perfectly well there is no such person.
His name begins with an F.
Margaret.
Now, there's a promising letter. Let me...
Foster, Forest.
Yes, yes.
Fotheringham.
Sir John, might I play your pianoforte?
Yes, we do not stand upon ceremony here.
가족들은 메리앤의 피아노 연주를 보기 위해 일어나고 잠시 뒤 존 미들턴 경의 친구인 브랜든 대령이 찾아옵니다. 그리고 그는 메리앤을 보고 첫눈에 반하게 되죠.
You have not heard our delightful songbird.
A great pity indeed.
We served in the East Indies together.
Have you really been to the East Indies, Colonel? What's it like?
Yeah, it's full of spices.
Now, Miss Dashwood, it's your turn. I know what key you will sing in. F major.
얼마 뒤 브랜든과 대시우드 가족이 갈대를 꺾기 위해 야외로 나왔고
You know what they're saying, of course. That is, you've developed a taste for certain company.
Anne Dashwood would no more think of me than she would of you, John.
Besotted. An excellent match.
How long have you known the Colonel?
Oh, 15 years back. He had a tragic history.
브랜든은 20년 전 집안의 반대로 사랑하던 사람과 강제로 헤어졌고 그의 아버지는 그를 군에 입대시켰죠.
What became of the lady?
He searched heaven knows how long, only to find her dying in a poor house.
그리고 제닝스 부인은 메리앤과 브랜든을 이어주기 위해 함께 피아노 연주를 해보는 것이 어떻겠냐고 운을 떼지만
You must play as a duet.
I do not know any duets. Forgive me, Colonel.
이후 집으로 돌아온 대시우드 가족에게 어떤 소포가 배달됩니다.
Edward said he would bring it himself.
에드워드는 바빠서 못 온다는 편지와 함께 지도책을 소포로 보내왔던 것이었죠.
Why hasn't he come?
I'm taking you for a walk.
It's going to rain.
It is not going to rain.
You must miss him, Eleanor.
We are not engaged, Mama.
He loves you, dearest. Of that I'm...
엘리너는 그가 설탕조차 살 수 없는 여자와 결혼을 하긴 힘들 거라며 이성적으로 말합니다. 한편 산책을 나간 메리앤과 마거릿은 폭우를 만나고 메리앤이 언덕을 내려가다가 넘어집니다.
I do not think I can walk. You must run and fetch.
그때 누군가가 메리앤을 도와주기 위해 달려오고 메리앤은 남자를 본 순간 첫눈에 반하게 됩니다.
May I have your permission to ascertain if there are any breaks? It is not broken. Can you put your arm about my neck? Allow me to escort you home.
Yeah, my darling.
It's a twisted ankle. I can assure you it's not serious.
Sir, I cannot even begin to thank you.
Permit me to call tomorrow afternoon and inquire after the patient.
We shall look forward to it. Margaret, give the gentleman his hat.
His name.
Could you tell us to whom we are so much obliged?
Lord Willoughby of Allenham at your service, ma'am.
What an impressive gentleman.
She feels no pain, Mama.
다음날 미들턴이 병문안을 오고
What do you know of Mr. Willoughby, Sir John? What are his tastes, his passions, his pursuits?
메리앤의 질문 공세에 미들턴이 당황하던 그때 브랜든이 찾아옵니다.
The invalid.
Thank you so much, Colonel.
그리고 미들턴은 브랜든에게 메리앤이 윌러비에게 관심을 갖고 있다고 언지를 주는데 이번에는 윌러비가 찾아오죠.
The man himself. Let us leave him to the ladies.
Thank you so much for calling.
Goodbye, Sir John. Colonel, thank you for the flowers.
How do you do, Colonel?
How does he do? How do you do, more like? Come right.
Nature must be brought to you.
Oh, beautiful.
Ah, I see mine is not the first offering.
I've always preferred wildflowers.
윌러비는 어떤 분들이 이사를 오셨는지 너무 궁금했다고 하고 의자에 앉으려는데
Who is reading Shakespeare's sonnets?
Marianne. Marianne is reading them out to us.
Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. It
is an ever-fixed mark.
Look, I carry them with me always.
Until tomorrow, then. And my pocket sonnets are yours, Miss Marianne.
Goodbye. Thank you.
엘리너는 메리앤에게 우리 잉크를 잘 모른다며 너무 감정을 드러내지 말라고 조언합니다.
Why should I hide my regard? If I had more shallow feelings, I could perhaps conceal them as you do. I do not understand her, Mama.
그리고 엘리너는 에드워드가 준 손수건을 보며 그를 그리워하죠. 이후 메리앤은 윌러비와 함께하는 시간이 많았고
You finished here.
얼마 뒤 브랜든이 대시우드 가족을 찾아오고 피크닉이 있다며 이들을 초대합니다. 하지만 메리앤은 그의 말을 무시하는데
I will, of course, be including Mr. Willoughby in the party.
I should be delighted to join you, Colonel.
그때 윌러비가 메리앤을 찾아오고
The Colonel has invited us to Delaford, Willoughby.
Excellent.
둘이 떠나자 엘리너는 브랜든에게 동생에 대해 말합니다.
Marianne does not approve of hiding her emotions.
She is wholly unspoiled.
The sooner she becomes acquainted with the ways of the world, the better.
이에 브랜든은 자신도 세상을 너무 빨리 알아버린 여인을 만난 적이 있다고 하고
The result was only ruination and despair. Do not desire it, Miss Dashwood.
얼마 뒤 브랜든의 저택에 대시우드 가족이 보이고 제닝스 부인은 둘째 딸과 사위, 사촌인 루시 스틸을 소개합니다.
He comes. Now you shall see Charlotte. Oh no, Mr. Willoughby.
그런데 루시가 엘리너에게 칭찬이 자자하다는 이야기를 들었다고 말을 걸고 엘리너는 제닝스 부인이 과찬을 한 것이라고 하지만
No, for it was from quite another source I heard you praised.
그때 누군가가 브랜든에게 전가를 보내왔고 그는 내용을 보자마자 급하게 런던으로 출발합니다.
We cannot picnic at Delaford without our host.
I cannot afford to lose 1 minute.
이후 이들은 피크닉을 즐기는데 윌러비가 브랜든을 짓궂게 놀립니다.
Why should you dislike him?
Because he has threatened me with rain when I wanted it fine.
이후 윌러비는 메리앤과 데이트를 하다가 내일 할 말이 있다며 둘만의 시간을 갖자고 합니다.
There's something very particular I should like to ask you.
I shall ask Mama if I may stay behind from church.
Think he'll kneel down when he asks us.
Fear of him.
He always kneel down.
예배를 마치고 집으로 돌아온 대시우드 가족은 메리앤이 울고 있는 모습을 보게 되고
Forgive me, Mrs. Dashwood.
윌러비는 런던에 있는 친척의 연락을 받았고 급하게 떠나야 한다고 말합니다.
I have no idea of returning immediately into Devonshire.
그리고 그는 갑자기 뛰쳐나갑니다.
Willoughby, come back!
What is wrong, my love?
Do not ask me questions.
They must have quarrelled.
Oh, that is unlikely. Disapproves of his regard for Marianne.
Then why did he not say as much?
What is it you suspect him of?
But why was his manner so guilty?
That he's been acting a part to your sister for all this time?
Cannot you ask her if he has proposed?
We must trust her to confide in us in her own time.
There was something so underhand in the manner of his leaving.
I prefer to give him the benefit of my good opinion.
Ma, I am very fond of Willoughby.
얼마 뒤 제닝스 부인의 집에 놀러간 대시우드 가족.
Surely this rain would stop.
Only you would stop.
'Twas you took her off my hands, for you cannot give her back. Miss Marianne, come and play. Looking out at the weather will not bring him back.
그때 루시가 엘리너에게 다가가고 자신이 페니의 모친을 안다고 말합니다.
I'm certainly nothing to Mrs. Ferris at present, when we may be very intimately connected.
You have an understanding with Fanny's brother, Robert?
No, with Edward.
Edward Ferris?
Been secretly engaged these 5 years. Oh, you may well be surprised, for I know he looks on you quite as his own sister.
루시는 에드워드의 모친에게 결혼 허락을 받고 싶다고 하고 너무 힘든 시기를 보내고 있다며 눈물을 글썽이는데
You seem out of sorts, Miss Dashwood. Are you quite well?
I cannot stand it any longer. I must know what you're saying.
Promise me you'll not tell us so.
I give you my word.
루시가 런던 이야기를 하고 있다고 둘러대자 제닝스는 마침 런던으로 갈 계획을 세워놨다며 이들을 초대합니다.
My house in Chelsea, and we will taste the delights of the season.
그렇게 해서 제닝스 부인과 3명의 여인들은 첼시로 출발합니다.
I have written to Edward, Miss Dashwood. Secrecy is vital. He'll never be able to call. Imagine how glad he'll be to learn that we're friends.
첼시에 도착하자마자 메리앤은 윌러비에게 편지를 보내고 그가 찾아오길 기다립니다.
John and Fanny are in town. I think we shall be forced to see them. I think it was for next door. And do sit down for 2 seconds together. Making me nervous.
그때 누군가가 2층으로 올라오는 소리가 들리고
Oh, Eleanor. It is Willoughby. Oh.
브랜든이 찾아오자 메리앤은 실망하고 방을 나갑니다.
I have heard reports through town finally resolved between your sister and Mr. Willoughby.
I have no doubt of their mutual affection.
Thank you, Miss Dashwood. To Mr. Willoughby, that he may endeavour to deserve her.
What do you mean?
Forgive me.
Where is dear Edward, John? Who indeed?
My brother, Edward Ferrars. Is that Ferrars with an F?
No messages at all, no cards.
None.
No messages, ma'am.
제닝스는 날씨가 좋아 남자들이 운동하느라 바빠서 연락이 없는 거라며 메리앤을 위로합니다.
Thank you, Mrs. Jennings.
그리고 그날 저녁 이들은 어떤 파티에 참석하고
You're not alone.
John has just gone to fetch my brother.
Your brother? This is good news indeed.
그런데 그곳에 에드워드는 없었고 그의 동생 로버트가 있었죠.
We meet at last.
Is Mr. Edward not here?
He's far too busy for such gatherings.
제닝스 부인은 로버트에게 형 대신 엘리너와 함께 춤을 추라고 권유하고 이들은 함께 춤을 추게 됩니다.
You reside in Devonshire.
Yes.
I am excessively fond of the cottage.
그런데 그때 엘리너는 윌러비를 만나게 되고
Mr. Willoughby.
Good God, Willoughby. Will you not shake hands with me?
How do you do, Miss Marianne?
Why have you not come to see me?
Yes, I had the pleasure of receiving the information you were so good as to send me.
Tell me what is wrong.
If you will excuse me, I must rejoin my party.
You must come away.
Do you know them?
Acquaintances from the country.
Indeed.
Come away, dearest.
Oh, my goodness. You need some air.
She actually sent him messages during the night?
Yes.
다음 날 메리앤에게 윌러비의 편지가 배달되고
There now. Well, I must be off. It hurts to see her looking so forlorn.
윌러비는 자신에게 사랑하는 사람이 있었다며 오해하게 해서 미안했다는 내용의 편지를 보내왔고 그 내용을 들은 엘리너는 분노합니다.
Did he tell you that he loved you?
No, never absolutely.
He made us all believe he loved you. He loved me as I loved him.
I had to come straight up. Poor thing, she looks very bad. He is to be married at the end of the month to a Miss Grey with 50,000. I wish with all my soul that his wife might plague his heart out.
They never were engaged.
Miss Marianne is virtually penniless.
Having them to stay with us for a few days. We are, after all, family.
I've already asked Miss Steele for a visit. We can invite your sisters some other year, you know.
Excellent notion.
얼마 뒤 브랜든이 찾아오고
Have something to tell me of Mr. Willoughby.
그는 과거에 헤어졌던 연인 엘리자에 대해 이야기합니다.
Before she died, Eliza bore an illegitimate child. She begged me to look after the child. Beth is her name, and placed her with a family in the country. She grew up so headstrong. Almost a year ago, she disappeared. On the day of the Delaford picnic, I received the first news of her. She was with child, and the blackguard who had left her.
Do you mean Willoughby?
이어서 그는 앨런 부인이 이 사실을 알게 되자 윌러비는 재산을 상속받지 못하게 됐고 자신의 집이 빚쟁이에게 넘어갈까봐 돈 많은 여자를 만난 거라고 이야기합니다. 그리고 앨런 부인에게 들었다며 그가 메리앤에게 청혼하려고 했다고 이야기합니다.
He would have married her.
For the money. Whatever his past actions, at least you may be certain that he loved you.
Not enough.
다음 날 루시가 찾아오고
How are you enjoying your stay with John and Fanny, Miss Steele?
I do believe your sister-in-law's taken quite a fancy to me. I was introduced to Edward's mother.
Come in.
There's a Mr. Edward Ferrars to see you, Miss Dashwood.
Do ask him to come in. Mr. Ferrars.
Miss Dashwood, how can I...
You know Miss Steele, of course. Do sit down.
Edward, I
Oh, boy.
Forgive me, Marianne. My visit is shamefully overdue.
Why have you not come to see us before?
I have been much engaged elsewhere.
Will you not sit?
Forgive me. I must take my leave. An urgent commission to attend to on Fanny's birth.
Perhaps you might escort me back to your sister's house, Mr. Ferris.
It would be an honour.
Why did you not urge him to stay? If I were Edward, I would assume you did not care for me at all.
얼마 뒤 루시는 페니에게 메리앤이 안 됐다며 자신도 결혼이 두려워졌다고 하는데
You will marry far better than either of the Dashwood girls.
페니가 긍정적이자 루시는 남자가 있다고 말합니다.
His family would certainly oppose the match. They will allow it as soon as they see you, my dear.
I've told nobody in the world.
I am the soul of discretion.
Dears, what a commotion. Mr. Edward Ferris.
에드워드가 루시와 파혼을 하지 않자 그의 모친이 상속권을 박탈했던 것이었죠.
Settled it all irrevocably on Mr. Robert.
How long have you known?
Since the night Mrs. Jennings offered to take us to London.
He cannot marry her.
Edward made his promise a long time ago, long before he met me.
Always resignation and acceptance. Always prudence and honour and duty. Where is your heart?
For weeks, Marianne, I've had this pressing on me. I have endured her exaltation again and again.
얼마 뒤 엘리너는 브랜든을 만났는데 브랜든은 에드워드의 사정을 들었다며 그에게 일자리를 주고 싶다고 하고 대신 소식을 전해달라고 부탁합니다.
You would be only too delighted to hear it from your own lips.
I feel certain this is the right course.
I was most grateful to receive it. Miss Dashwood, God knows what you must think of me.
I have good news. Do please sit down.
엘리너는 브랜든이 자신의 영토 교구에서 에드워드가 목사직을 맡길 원한다고 말합니다.
In the hope that it may enable you and Miss Steele to marry.
Colonel Brandon give me a parish. May I ask why the Colonel did not tell me himself?
He felt it would be better coming from a friend.
Your friendship has been the most important of my life.
You will always have it.
Forgive me.
I wish you both very happy.
Miss Dashwood.
이후 대시우드 자매는 브랜든의 에스코트를 받으며 파머 부부의 집으로 가서 잠시 지내게 됩니다. 저택에 도착한 후 메리앤이 산책을 하고 오겠다며 혼자 나가고
Near the house. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration fine, or bends with a remover to remove, that looks on tempests and is never shaken. Willoughby.
Marianne?
Do not worry, Miss Dashwood. Brandon will find her.
Miss Dashwood.
그리고 얼마 뒤 브랜든이 메리앤을 데려오는데
Not her, but we must get her warm.
Do hurry.
What is the diagnosis?
It is an infectious fever. I would recommend the hasty removal of your child. She is not doing as well as I would like. I must fetch more laudanum. You must prepare yourself. I will return very shortly.
I cannot do without you. I have tried to bear everything else. I will try. Dearest. Do not leave me alone.
그리고 기적적으로 메리앤이 깨어나고 대시우드 부인을 모시러 간 브랜든이 때마침 도착합니다.
She is out of danger.
Where is Eleanor?
I'm here.
Colonel Brandon.
이후 메리앤은 자신을 진심으로 걱정하고 보듬어주는 브랜든에게 조금씩 마음을 열기 시작합니다.
He is not so dashing as Willoughby. He has a far more pleasing countenance.
It is no more at all.
Shall we continue tomorrow?
For I must away.
Where?
It is a secret.
You will not stay away long.
Thomas.
I fetched those beef fillets for you, ma'am. And Mr. Ferrers is married, but of course you know that, ma'am. I see Mrs. Ferrers myself, ma'am. And she inquired after you, ma'am, and all you young ladies.
Did Mrs. Ferrers seem well?
Oh, yes, Miss Marianne.
Thank you, Thomas.
얼마 뒤 브랜든이 메리앤을 위해 피아노를 보내옵니다.
I must the true night.
Edward! It is Edward!
What a pleasure to see you.
Mrs. Dashwood, I trust I find you all well.
We are all very well. May I wish you great joy, Edward? Is Mrs. Ferrers at the new parish?
No, my mother is in town.
Mrs. Edward Ferrers.
You've not heard? You mean my brother? You mean Mrs. Robert Ferrers?
Mrs. Robert Ferrers?
I received a letter from Miss Steele. The transfer of her affections to my brother. At any rate, they were married last week and are now in Plymouth.
Then you are not married?
No. Eleanor, my behavior at Norland was very wrong, but I convinced myself that you felt only friendship. I've come here with no expectations, only to profess, now that I am at liberty to do so, that my heart is and always will be yours.
He's sitting next to her. What else? Marianne? He's kneeling down.
그리고 얼마 뒤 브랜든과 메리앤도 결혼식을 올립니다. 그리고 멀리서 그 모습을 윌러비가 바라보죠. 영화 센스 앤 센서빌리티는 세계적인 거장 이안 감독의 1995년 작품으로 제인 오스틴의 동명의 소설이 원작입니다. 이성과 감성을 상징하는 서로 다른 성격의 두 자매가 진정한 사랑에 눈을 뜨게 되는 과정을 탁월한 심리 묘사로 섬세하게 그려내면서 평단과 관객의 호평 속에 제작비 1,600만 달러에 전세계 흥행 수입 1억 3,400만 달러로 흥행에 크게 성공하고 제46회 베를린국제영화제 황금곰상과 제53회 골든글로브 시상식에서 작품상을 수상했으며 각색을 맡은 엘리너 역의 배우 엠마 톰슨은 제68회 아카데미 시상식에서 각색상을 수상했습니다. 참고로 엠마 톰슨은 윌러비 역의 배우 그렉 와이즈와 이 영화에서 만나 8년여의 열애 끝에 2003년 부부의 연을 맺기도 했습니다. 영화의 배경이 되는 19세기는 여성의 사회 진출이 어려웠던 시대였고 결혼은 여성이 재산을 획득하고 사회적 지위를 높일 수 있는 거의 유일한 수단이었습니다. 순수한 사랑만으로 결혼하기 어렵던 시대에 영화 속 인물들이 보여주는 순수한 사랑 이야기가 마음을 따뜻하게 만들어주는 아름다운 로맨스 영화로 본편을 꼭 감상하시길 강력히 추천합니다. 구독과 좋아요 부탁드립니다. 믿고 보는 무드킹의 추천 영화 앞으로도 계속됩니다.